Encounter, 2015 movie directed by Susanna O'Brien. This is her first movie, although she does have a few more in the canon ready to go. Now, just to confuse matters, there's actually another movie called Encounter, which also came out in 2015, and another one called Encounters, which came out in 2014. So a bit of a confusion there. So hopefully you'll recognise by the kind of the cover and stuff which one I'm talking about. Now, this is a part found footage film, part kind of traditional style of narrative, and basically follows a couple of newlyweds as they basically kind of move to a new house. And it's not their own house, they're actually renting part of the house with the kind of like a living landlord. And it's out in the middle of nowhere, and they kind of go there with the idea that they're going to try and film these kind of orbs, which are basically kind of supernatural phenomena, basically. And as you'd probably expect, the owner of the house is a bit of a kind of a weirdo, and sort of strange things start to happen. There's a tragedy that happens in the house, and then things take a kind of a darker turn, and even more strange things happen without kind of spoiling anything here for you. So that's pretty much your plot there. Now, I have to prefix this by saying the majority of films I'd sort of say that are very low budget. This is a low budget film, so don't be expecting, buttons, loads of special effects and kind of that kind of professional kind of standard. It's obviously a lower budget film, so you have to kind of judge it as such. That being said, obviously, is it a good movie? Well, I would say, even though it's not all a found footage film, there's very easy comparisons here to be made with the Paranormal Activity series. It kind of very much reminds me of that kind of series. There's a lot of footage here of people kind of like laying around in bed, and this is going to be the main criticism of this film. There's a lot of time here with nothing really happening. So there are a kind of sporadically through the film you'll see sort of stuff kind of happen. A few things here and there, but a lot of the time, 90% of the time, the camera is just seemingly idle and kind of going around mundane stuff. Positives wise, I think it's fairly well acted, to be honest with you. So obviously these actors aren't well-known actors, but I thought they did a reasonable job here in kind of portraying kind of realistic kind of sort of characters. There are a couple of jump out your seat moment kind of jump scares that I thought were quite good, and it doesn't exactly have a twist, but it kind of goes in a different direction than I thought it was going, that I didn't see coming, I will be honest. And so that kind of caught me by surprise a little bit, and I kind of like that. It kind of played with my expectations somewhat, and kind of went in a not completely unexpected now I think about it, but actually, but it did a good way of kind of like maybe subverting your expectations somewhat. Like I said, on the downside here, there are lots of time here wasted on kind of just when nothing happens, and this is the problem with found footage films. Even though this isn't all found footage, but there is, to kind of pad that out, because they're not generally effects heavy, you do get a lot of this, and this one really suffers from it. I also am not a big fan of ones that kind of, I've seen this done a couple of times where they've kind of mixed it up, part found footage, part traditional sort of camera work, because I feel it doesn't really make sense to you. You kind of got to go one way or the other. And even when we have the kind of the more sort of third person sort of camera, basically when we're sort of seeing the traditional sort of style of filmmaking, it kind of looks like it's just shaky cam and stuff like that, and when it should be static, camera work basically. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. I would say this film as well is a little confusing in times and doesn't make total sense when you kind of look back and think about, why did that happen? Why did this person do that? Why did they say that? Why didn't they get the hell out when this person saw this thing happen? So especially because the fact that they're there, without kind of spoiling anything, they're there trying to look for paranormal phenomena. So they are believers of this kind of thing, but they have some stuff happens, and yet they're kind of in denial about it. Anyway, so I would say this is probably a passable, low-budget kind of mirror lots of found footage film, but it's nothing really to kind of set it apart from the pack. There's plenty of films like this, and I have to say there are films that have done this better and films that have done this on a worse standard. But like I said, I think you can do worse. Certainly even higher budget films, because there are some good elements here. I would say it might be worth checking out time if you're a fan of kind of lower budget cinema, and you can maybe kind of look past some of the shortcomings that simply the budget is going to have an effect here. So I'm going to give this movie let's give it a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.